Hey, welcome back to Let's Talk Power Rangers, a place where we can all sit back and enjoy a conversation about the franchise we love and adore so much, that of course being Power Rangers. So, thanks for joining me on my creative outlet journey. Today is episode 2, and if you didn't see the first inaugural episode on the channel, I discussed my story with Power Rangers, how I grew up with it, how I grew out of it, and then eventually how I came back into the franchise as an adult. Check it out. It's super short, super sweet. It could potentially be like the shortest episode, honestly, because from here on out, we're just gonna be yapping. It's I don't know what's gonna happen with these videos. I guess don't really have a plan or a script or anything like that. Might feel a little bit more structured because last time I was kind of just freeballing it. Now I might have some points to kind of check off, but yeah, from here on out, it's just going to be a yap fest. These episodes could be like 30 minutes to an hour. I have no idea. They'll take as long as they'll take. You know what I mean? We're just yapping. We're just having a place, an escape, if you will. So yeah, we might be talking about Zords. We might be talking about villains, story arcs, weapons. I'm sure those are all stuff we'll knock off the list at some point. But maybe just let me know down below what you guys want to talk about, what you want to hear. Again, we're going to talk about all this stuff at some point, but yeah, you definitely influenced me on what the next set of videos could sure be. So let me know. Um, at the end of the day, I just want to bring you guys some entertainment about this franchise that we all love so much. So today, however, is episode 2. Um, like I said in episode 1, don't really have a plan for this. Like I said just now, I guess I don't really have a plan for this. So I was coming up with some ideas of what we could talk about today. I was trying to get the old brain rolling, and I was thinking about what it was like growing up with Power Rangers and what I was doing as a child when I was really into it. What is something all kids did when we were growing up? We would pretend to morph as Rangers as kids. Don't lie to me. You know you did it. Maybe it wasn't Power Rangers. Maybe it was Ninja Turtles. Maybe it was Transformers. I don't know. I personally did all three of those naturally. Yeah, I don't know. Just kind of a fun little memory I was revisiting there. Let me know down below. Maybe you morphed into some of these specific Rangers we talked about today. Maybe it was Ninja Turtles or Transformers. Let me know down below. Very curious if you guys have any stories. Gosh, I have so many. We could probably have a whole episode about playground morphs or something. I'm just playing. But yeah, so today I thought it would be fun to just talk about specific Rangers. What Rangers did we pretend to be, growing up? Not specifically, hey, this is going to be a list of Rangers I morphed into. That's a little weird, but um, these are just going to be Rangers that I idolized kind of growing up. And then once I got back into the franchise, some of these characters I really fell in love with and really grew to adore, I guess, if you will. So, yeah, just kind of checking off. Oh, hello. We have a visitor today. I said in the last one, my cats or my dog might come say hello. They sure might as well in this one. Today, they've been super, super clingy. Haven't you, Yuki? Hello? She don't care. So she will just sit here and meow and meow and meow, and then she'll just jump up here whenever she feels like it. If I pick her up after she's meowing, I don't neglect her or anything. After I pick her up, she might just be here for a couple seconds, and then she'll just run off. Cats are weird, man. I don't know. But yeah, they might come in and out of the video. Don't be surprised if I stop and say hello to them or something, but we might have a couple visitors, so. Yeah, anyway, get back on topic here. Talking Rangers today. Talking some of our favorites, my favorites. Just kind of a disclaimer, this is not a top favorite Rangers list or anything like that. This is not a strongest Rangers list. It's just talking Rangers, man. It's just talking some of my favorite throughout the franchise really quick. I don't have a specific plan or nothing's in canonical order or anything like that. We're pretty much just all over the map here. Um, I will also say there might not be the same template for every ranger. We might be talking like character growth, storylines, looks, aesthetics, that kind of stuff. There's no template that I'm following or anything like that. We're just talking. That's what this whole channel is about. So, um, that being said, before we get into it, I would just like to give the warning, like I did in the first video, there might be some explicit language kind of here and there. I just want viewers to kind of watch at their own risk. I know Power Rangers is more targeted to a younger audience. I don't want any young ears getting in here and getting caught by accident and then having parents hate me or anything like that. So, again, watch at your own risk. But yeah, that being said, intro's out of the way. Hope you guys got a drink. Hope you have your snack. I got myself a coffee actually. Ripped the cart before this, so we're good to roll. Yeah, let's just get into it. As a wise man once said, let's rock it. So I thought a perfect place to start for this episode would be kind of where it started for me. We were talking about how as a kid you might morph into a ranger on the playground. White Ranger was one of those, but more specifically, I wanted to talk about where it kind of started for me, and that is the Lightspeed Rescue Titanium Ranger Ryan Mitchell. So Ryan Mitchell, played by Rhett Fisher, made his Power Rangers debut in the 11th episode of Lightspeed Rescue from Deep in the Shadows, along with, fun fact, the Lightspeed V Lancers also made their debut that episode. Thank you, Ranger Wiki, for the fun fact there. Pulled a lot of information for this episode, I guess, from Ranger Wiki, so that was pretty cool seeing that, I guess. But yeah, in episode 1 of Let's Talk Power Rangers, I mentioned Carter Grayson, the Red Lightspeed Ranger. One of my favorite Rangers of all time. He absolutely sure is. But what I wanted to talk about Ryan specifically, because no shade at Carter or anything like that. But Ryan's just a better character. He's got better stories. He's just better developed. It is what it is, you know. Um, the Mitchell family storyline is great. I mean, it's a massive portion of Lightspeed Rescue. Uh, Ryan's story was something I watched all the time growing up. I think I mentioned I had the VHS of the Curse of the Cobra. I had the VHS. I still have the VHS actually. I watched that all the time growing up. So yeah, Ryan was just easily one of those characters I was easily attached to and just kind of idolized. Um, I remember seeing the Cobra for the first time and just being so spooked. I thought there was just something so edgy and scary about it, but also kind of cool. You know what I mean? Like the whole like Egyptian theme, and it was just kind of cool. You know, just kind of mysterious, I guess. I don't know. Diabolico, very scary villain. He scared the bejesus out of me as a kid. Um, just made me really adore the arc and the whole storyline, I guess, of Ryan overall. So, my only complaint about the Mitchell family storyline, if you will, um, and it just might be a small complaint. It might just be because I've gotten older and I haven't seen it in a while, but I just remember not feeling like Dana and Ryan had like super great chemistry. I know they're brother and sister who have been separated for a very long time. I understand that, but for some reason, I remember as a kid, I was just like, I don't see these two as brother and sister for some reason. I don't know. Something about it wasn't clicking. I think both actor and actress are fine. No complaints there or anything. For some reason, I just wasn't digging it. Now, Ryan and his dad, on the other hand, Captain Mitchell, tons of great scenes, great chemistry. Absolutely love Captain Mitchell. Let's be honest, he probably carries most of Lightspeed Rescue anyway. Just great stuff overall. Really, really liked their interactions, if you will. So, storyline out of the way, then let's talk the Titanium Ranger just overall. The silver suit, gold trim, it's clean as hell, dude. What a look. Honestly, for first Western Ranger, something they created over here, super, super well done, honestly. The only gripe I have gotten as I've gotten older, and it's a small gripe, it's kind of silly, I know, but I don't know if I love the shoulder pads so much, I guess. I don't know. For some reason, they just look a little weird to me. I don't know. Weird complaint, I know. It's just every time I look at the Titanium Ranger, I'm just like, why they look the way they do. So, I don't know, a little silly. I know, I apologize, but silly great. Overall, though, I think the whole aesthetic of the Titanium Ranger is super cool. I love Ryan's Morpher as well. I love just the slick blue solar panel look, and we'll talk about the Zord here in a minute. But the solar panel look is really, really cool. I like the blue. I like the V on it. I think it's sick. The way they carried the Morpher in the case, I remember thinking that was so just like, I don't know, it's mysterious and weird, like how the case would be like in the locker or wherever it was at the time, and they like went and got it, and it was missing, and there was just this mystique to the Morpher, I guess. I don't know, super super cool. I liked it a lot. Along with just Ryan's morphing sequence, I thought was awesome. So in his morphing sequence, the V comes down from top down when he morphs, right? The other Lightspeed Rescue Rangers are just front to back. I thought it was kind of just a nice little touch to make him different from the rest of the cast. You know what I mean? Kind of cool. So, um, his Zord, on the other hand, so the Max Solar Zord. Everybody, first of all, put your guns down. I understand what's wrong with the Solar Zord. You don't need to be attacking. We'll address it. So the Solar Zord's power source is solar energy, which means at night it doesn't operate. Yikes. It's kind of funny because I'm just imagining like a fight happening where it goes past dark and like Ryan Zord just like shuts down and it's like, shit, man, what's up? The engineers were pretty confident that Ryan could wrap it up quickly, so not a big deal. Honestly, I don't give a shit. I think the Titanium Ranger overall is just super cool, and that includes the Zord. I love the train design. I love seeing it in the intro. It's like one of the first things I think you see in the intro. I don't know, super cool. I also like the Warrior mode, so I put a picture of that in here because for some reason, as I've gotten older, and goodbye, cat. We'll see you later, I suppose. The next time you make a cameo. Um, the reason I put the Zord in here is because I like the smaller combat type Zords, if that makes sense. I don't. The only other thing I can really think of off the top of my head at the moment is the Ninja Storm Zord when it goes into like its lightning mode and it's just a lot more like smaller. You know what I mean? That's the vibe that the Max Solar Zord gives off to me, and I just like it. I don't know why. We will have a Zord episode at some point, but for some reason, the big clunky meaty Zords don't attract me the same way the stealthy combat ones do. I don't know, personal taste, but again, we'll talk about it one day once we get into Zords. I have some stories for that as well. So, yeah, this was our first Western Ranger, the Titanium Ranger. Thought Ryan was a wonderful place to start, as he was probably the first Ranger I idolized growing up. Really, like I said, watching that VHS tape all the time. So, yeah. So let's stay on the sixth Ranger path for this next Ranger we're going to discuss today. Or is he actually a fifth Ranger? Whatever. At some point, we're gonna get to core members here, so don't worry. You have to understand though, the Sixth Rangers, the Special Rangers, they're the coolest in the entire franchise. They have the best storylines. It is what it is. So they're easy to talk about, and they're some of most people's favorites. So that being said, I know at the top of the episode I said this is not my favorite Ranger list or anything like that, or strongest Ranger list, but this might be one of my favorite Rangers of all time, and that is Trent Mercer, the White Dino Ranger, the White Dino Thunder Ranger, played by none other than Jeffrey Perazzo. So, first of all, look at this motherfucker. What else do I even have to say? This guy is clean. He's hard. He's tough. He is him, honestly. Like, arguably one of, if not the best looking suits in the entire franchise. The white and black scheme, the red visor, the chest piece. He had it all. Motherfucker was tough. Like, honestly, his aura just had aura. Like, you know what I mean? I can't hype him up enough. This dude, the White Dino Ranger is so good. First of all, he rolled the Dino Squad multiple times by himself. Connor didn't stand a chance. And honestly, Tommy fucking Oliver didn't stand a chance. Got fossilized by Trent, no sweat. Just come on, man. Like, how much better can you get? All I'm saying, Trent shows up to a battle, you're cooked. Don't even stand a chance. Also, look at the Dino Thunder team here in this slide. Trent like stands so much taller than everybody. Sure, Tommy's suit stands out a little bit as well because it's really really good. But the White Dino Ranger is just it makes the rest of the squad just look lesser. You know what I mean? Like I said, his aura had aura. He's just an aura farm, really. Storyline wise, another great story. They really cooked with this one. So before I say any more, if you don't know about Trent's Sentai counterpart and how his story ends, I recommend going to check that out. As his fate is a little bit different from what we got in Dino Thunder. Actually, because of his counterpart in the Sentai, Dino Thunder was actually the first season I watched, the first Sentai season I watched, and I cannot recommend it enough. Actually, I wore my 20th anniversary Dino Thunder Sentai hoodie today for this episode, so I thought that was pretty fitting. But yeah, definitely give it a check, man. It's super, super good. Um, in the States, however, we got a slightly different variation of its story. Still super, super good, so we'll go over it a little bit here. And then just a reminder for spoilers. I know I gave it at the top of the episode, but I like to just give the reminder kind of here throughout the video, I guess. But reminder for spoilers, if you would like to see some of this stuff on your own, please go look at it. I don't want to ruin anybody's entertainment or take away from the awesome factor, if you will. So, personally, so with Trent here, I think the Evil Ranger thing gets a little old sometimes because we've seen it so much, right? Like throughout the franchise, you see it all the time. Honestly, probably every season almost gets like an Evil Ranger storyline of some sort. Um, but I think if it's done and handled properly and feels unique to that season specifically, I think it's great. Dino Thunder is one of those examples where it feels unique and it feels like it's its own. When Trent was in and out of consciousness as as he was morphing and he was losing like his consciousness, I guess, he was sweating really hard and just like tweaking. I thought it was awesome. It kind of created like this scared feeling for Trent, like you're a little bit terrified, like, yo, what is this tweaker going on about? But then at the same time, like, gives you a fear factor for the White Ranger himself, right? Because he's tweaking when he's not morphed, and then he morphs, and he's a completely like changed demeanor, changed just into a badass again. It's just awesome, dude. It makes you afraid of him. Like honestly, if this dude rolls up, I'm not sure if he's good or bad. Like just look at him, like that's tough, dude. Just tough. Um, so Dino Thunder is just one of those seasons as well. I could sit here and just talk about it all day. It definitely deserves its own episode. It could be one of those hour-long episodes. The cast is phenomenal. But just to sell you on why even more that White Dino Ranger is a top tier ranger. Let's just discuss Trent's abilities and weapons really quick. I promise the glazing is almost done. I'm not trying to spend so much time just diving into all this, but we have to a little bit. So, first of all, Trent had super speed and can turn invisible. Okay? Now you might say other Rangers have that, but also they've got and Trent has got super dino mode. Like, what are we talking about? Like, this dude's got everything. Who's stopping him? Not Connor, not Tommy. He's the strongest ranger in the team, easily. Might be one of the strongest rangers of all time. I don't know what else to sell you on. The Drago sword as well. Trent's weapon here, I put it in the first slide. Yeah, it's the one he's holding there, that feather looking thing. The Drago sword. So freaking cool, dude. Might be one of the coolest weapons in the franchise, in my opinion. The feather look is just so good, dude. I love it so much. I think it's just really, really well done. Um, Zords as well. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on the Zords, but the Stegozord is also one of the coolest. Some people think it's one of the strongest swords in all the Power Rangers as well. So, by the way, the cat came back. Don't know if you noticed. So, an in and out guest. She's such an attention whore. I don't get it. Anyway, so yeah, I've given Trent enough glaze for the episode, but I promise there will be more in the future for you Trent lovers out there. We'll have a Dino Thunder episode at some point, and we'll be able to just talk about him for 30 minutes. Yeah, great character, great ranger, one of my favorites for sure. But I think we've talked enough Sixth Rangers for the episode. Um, let's move on to some core members, shall we? I bet y'all didn't expect this one. So the next ranger I really wanted to just talk about today because I have grown much appreciation for her as I've gotten back into the franchise, and she's got quite the resume. She's the Pink Ranger in multiple teams, such as Mighty Morphin, Zeo, and Turbo. You guessed it, it's Catherine Hilliard. Come on, man. First of all, let's just address the first thing I need to say about Catherine Hilliard here as a character, played by Catherine Sutherland. Catherine Sutherland rocks. She is like amazing. As soon as I got back into the franchise here and I started revisiting panels and seasons and movies, the Turbo movie, I guess, I immediately just understood like why we have such a good one here in our Ranger family. Catherine Sutherland just is amazing. So, first of all, or second, whatever. It's very easy for an actor or an actress who's been in Power Rangers to kind of dismiss their work or just dismiss the franchise and fandom. We've seen it multiple times. It is what it is. I get it. Catherine Sutherland, she just gets it, man, and I love it so much. You can tell she's just genuinely cares and appreciates the fandom as much as she respects the franchise itself. When you see her interact with fans, I just love how patient she is with everybody. She can be kind like I mean, all these actors and actresses, they've been going to these conventions for years and years. Power Rangers has been around a long time, right? So I'm sure it can be tough sitting through some of the same questions over all these years and waiting for a fan to spit out the question. Um, but just Catherine just remains so patient, and I love seeing that so much. Um, yeah, something I love most about it, I guess. But another thing I quickly realized when revisiting the franchise is how much Catherine Sutherland just clearly cares about her character as well. The story that is being told about her character is just you can tell the passion's there, and I just love it so much. I might add, she is even part of a Power Rangers YouTube channel with a co-star from Power Rangers, so go check that out. Not trying to plug or anything, but thought that's pretty sweet actually. I've seen some clips here and there, so getting to make this was kind of fun as well, just getting to revisit some of those videos. So she's just a fan, man, and I love it so much. When Catherine comes back for appearances, like in Super Ninja Steel or Super Mega Force or Once and Always, she's always just bought into her character, and you can just tell, man, it's so good. Um, I'm not sure if she's returned more than just those three specials or three seasons that I just mentioned, but that's quite a bit to be honest for like most Ranger actors. Besides Tommy, she's probably like been one of the most reappearing Rangers of all time, right? Somebody please fact check me on that though. I'm not super positive, that'd be awesome to know. But yeah, dude, like one of the longest tenured Rangers. Love that she keeps coming back. Um, excuse me. That also kind of makes me feel that she doesn't come back for just the paycheck. You know what I mean? Like you can tell the passion's there, the love's there, and I just, man, I love it so much. It just makes me care for her character so much more. You know what I mean? So, um, yeah. To be honest, I don't remember much storyline for Kat other than when she was evil when she was first introduced prior to Zio. Um, that's fine. And Tommy and her are doing the hibbity dibbity. That's fine. I don't really care much. Tommy and her are obviously married, well, which we all should know, I guess. And she's JJ Oliver's mom, which is just awesome in itself. So I like seeing her keep coming back. Remember when she name dropped JJ in the Once and Always special? Like, come on, that was so cool. Um, but yeah, her character just continues, and I love it so much. So yeah, just wanted to talk about Kat a little bit. I feel like she doesn't totally get the respect she deserves all the time, so I just kind of wanted to give her some praise right there. So, yeah, kind of a quick one, but sticking with female rangers for my next ranger today. Um, I thought we could have another fun one, another one of my personal favorites. Again, I know I said this is my favorite list, but one I just wanted to talk about a little bit is the Blue Wind Ninja herself, Tori Hansen. So, Tori, played by Sally Martin in Power Rangers Ninja Storm, is of course, and legend has it, the first female Blue Ranger. Honestly, pretty sick that Ninja Storm was able to introduce the first female Ranger, the first female Blue Ranger, but also the first male Yellow Ranger in Dustin. Super cool season. Another one where I could sit here and just glaze all day. But let me start out by just saying, Tori, I said she's one of my favorites, but she's not my favorite Ninja Storm Ranger, which is totally fine. She's just surrounded by such a good cast. Great Rangers all around her. Some of the coolest Rangers in all of the franchise, really. But yeah, I think it goes without saying. I could, based on how much I hyped up Ninja Storm in Episode 1, this season is phenomenal. Phenomenal. One of my favorites. I can't wait to just do a Ninja Storm episode and just ramble about it for an hour. Easily a 10 out of 10. But Tori, that's who we're talking about today. Um, might be another quick ranger we talk about. I'm sorry, dude. This cat is annoying. She just like keeps moving and she doesn't sit still and she's just climbing. It's really distracting. You know that? I'm trying to talk Power Rangers here. You feel me? You don't care. She's like, feed me, father, please. Anyway, what I love about Tori is she's just constantly at the linchpin in every relationship in the entire show. She feels like she's constantly resolving issues. She's keeping level heads within the team. Um, honestly, could you see like Shane and Dustin like getting along without Tori there? It just wouldn't work. But I get it. She kind of has to play peacemaker when she's surrounded by a bunch of airhead, punch first type of dudes. Besides Cam, she's kind of the only one that uses brains or logic, and everybody kind of teams up on Cam anyway. And she's kind of there to like pick him up or tell everybody to kind of fuck off. You know what I mean? So yeah, I love Tori. She's great character, great ranger. Honestly, overall, story wise, she might not have a ton of things going on, uh, and that's totally okay. I really don't care. Even if I don't really care for the Blake and her love flirting thing going on, I think it's just a little bit forced. Like I feel like I don't know. I don't mean this in a bad way or anything, but I feel like because she was like the only female ranger, there needed to be some. I felt like it was kind of forced. I guess is what I'm trying to get at. I don't know. Didn't really care for it a whole lot. I thought it was kind of strange that they kind of alluded to it pretty much the entire time, and then just like never did anything with it. It is what it is. I don't really care. I still love Tori so much. She's a great ranger, great blue ranger. I'm glad people have started kind of coming back around on her. I should say coming back around, I guess. I should say more like in recent years, I feel like she's getting a lot more praise and being like one of those badass Rangers people like talking about. Glad it's happening. She deserves it. And also, who doesn't like a water user? I think water users, water themed stuff is always like the coolest vibes. You could argue with like Pokemon and stuff like that. People love water. Great vibes. Love it so much. So, yeah, kind of a short and sweet one there, but I felt like we just needed to talk about her a little bit. Adored her growing up, but after getting back in the franchise again, I mean, I've seen Ninja Storm so many times. Can I really say I got back into it for Ninja Storm? But great Ranger overall. I'm just glad people have been giving her flowers lately. So thought I could just give her a couple slides here and just talk about her. So yeah, a couple more Rangers today to talk about as we're kind of winding down. This is going a little bit quicker than I thought it was, so maybe next time I'll add a little bit more, just to kind of fill the gap, if you will. Didn't didn't have like a time frame or anything for this, but what are we sitting at? 24 at the moment. Pretty good, but I think we could go a little bit longer. So I'll just make sure to be added a bit more, make it a little bit longer for you guys. So anyway, like I said, a couple more Rangers here. Want to discuss today as we start winding down. I thought we could stick with Blue Rangers actually and talk about. Man, I can't believe I'm doing this. As somebody I hated for so long, I can't believe I'm doing this. We got Sky Tate from Power Rangers SPD. So so growing up, I hated Sky, like I was just alluding or saying here. I hated Sky so much. Now that I'm an adult and I understand characters and storytelling a lot more than I did when I was 7, um, I understand you're supposed to hate Sky. Um, saying lines like, "Sir, she's a female." This guy's a douche. This guy is just a dick. Like, there's no other way to say it. Um, no offense to Chris Violet. I hope that's how you say his last name. I'm not too sure. Um, but he's got such a punchable face. Like, no offense, guy, but like, they picked the right cast member for this. This is another season. I know I've been saying this every single slide. I love Power Rangers, man. I don't care. Uh, this is another season I could sit and just rave about, but hear me out. As much as Sky sucks in the beginning and how much everybody hates him, the growth for Sky Tate is some of the best in all of Power Rangers, genuinely. We'll talk about the comics here in a little bit, but his personal growth and his dynamic change between himself and his teammates is such a good viewing. It's just so good. I gave y'all a warning at the top of the episode, so here's another spoiler warning, just because I'm such a generous guy. The Murloc episodes in Power Rangers SPD are amazing. And I'm sorry if I'm hyping up these seasons way too much, but it's what we love, man. It's why we're doing it. Um, Watching Sky confront his villain Murloc, the villain who killed his father. At the time, I don't think he knew that. I think he learns that later on. I think Kruger tells him. But when he's confronting him, telling him the story about how his dad died and how it was the saddest day of his life, he starts crying, and Murloc is able to escape. And then that leads to one of the coolest Ranger moments, I think, in all of history. One of my favorite scenes. It's when Jack lends Sky the red SPD morpher so Sky can morph, use the battleizer, and take down Murloc. Dude, they cooked, they cooked, they cooked, they cooked. The growth, man, of Sky all the way up to this point is just so good. How Jack's like, you're not a Red Ranger, I'm the Red Ranger. Okay, Jack has his own flaws, his own character growth as well, but Sky had to come like full circle to get to this moment, and oh my god, dude, I love it so much. Jack understanding like, nah, this is Sky's thing. He's gonna do this. Let him handle it. Give him the morpher, and then Sky just giving Jack the morpher right back. Dude, that's just that is peak. I love that. It's so good. So at the end of the season, once you get all this character development and Sky's views and behavior changes, and he tells Kruger, "I will follow anyone deserving enough to wear the color red." Dude, that shit just it hits so good. Yeah, he becomes the Red Ranger himself at the end of the season after Jack leaves SPD. It's just perfect, man. It's just great writing, great storytelling. SPD knocked it out of the park with everything. They checked all the boxes. I'm not trying to glaze every season so much, but these are the seasons I love, man, and there's a reason for it. So it's just another season. I just can't wait to yap about on the channel. It's gonna be super fun when we get the chance. So. What happens to this guy in the comics, you ask? I'm not going to get super deep into the storytelling because I would like people to enjoy that for themselves as well. But if you've seen Operation Overdrive, when Bridge shows up and he's the Red Ranger, he kind of talks about like what happened at SPD and what happened promotion-wise, and that carries through the comics as well. Um, so Bridge alludes to how Sky took over as the SPD Earth Base commander, which was Doggy's old position, which also means Sky is the SPD Deca Ranger. Like, come on, dude. You go from blue to red to commander and Deca Ranger? Like, come on. That's so good. There's some stories as well about JJ and Tommy Oliver. So JJ actually gets sent to SPD and is trained by Sky, which is just what a path for Sky, honestly. Like, again, where did we start with him just being a douchebag, punchable face, and then going to lead Tommy's kid? Tommy, the greatest ranger of all time. You're training his kid. Like, come on. That's so good. Okay, I'm sorry. Enough boasting about SPD, but it's so good, man. Give it a watch if you haven't. Again, I can't believe just the change I've had on Sky. Even when I revisited SPD as an adult here, maybe like a few years ago, I was like, God, I remember hating Sky, and then probably like the character I was most attracted to most because of his growth and his changes and all that stuff. It's just so good. Um, but yeah, I'm sorry for keeping you guys in the Disney era for a minute here, um, but I had to give the seasons and specific Rangers their love. So yeah, we got one more Ranger I thought we could talk about today. Should be that long of one either. It should be kind of short and sweet, but I thought it was a more than deserving one to use to wrap it up. And that's just because of the importance of her character and the status in the Ranger family now. And of course, that is the newest Ranger, the Yellow Mighty Morphin Power Ranger, Min Quan, from Power Rangers Once and Always. So, Min Quan, daughter of Trini Quan, is played by Charlie Kirsch. I hope I got that right as well. But for you that haven't seen the Mighty Morphin Netflix special Once and Always, Trini Quan has a daughter who, of course, becomes her successor as the Yellow Ranger. As we know, Trini Quan's actress died way back in the day, and they were able to kind of write her story or finish her story, give her a better ending than what we never got in the original Mighty Morphin show, you know. So Charlie had major, major shoes to fill here, man, and she crushed it. She was coming into a franchise that is over 30 years old and is filling the shoes of one of the most beloved Rangers of all time. Um, if you want to be critical about her acting or her line delivery, all I have to say is get over it. No, yeah, it's a kid show. Like, what do you want? Honestly, we're here for the campiness and the cheesiness. I love it. That's why we come back to these moments and stuff. You know what I mean? So, I enjoyed this whole special so much. There's lots of things about Min's character I thoroughly enjoyed. So let's just get into it really quick. First of all, Min was an asshole in the beginning, which is understandable. Her mom just died. She's a teenage girl. She's lashing out on all those around her. It makes sense. Sorry, Bailey, but you had to take an L there for a moment. It was super hard to watch, but sorry, man. This is another thing I'm not trying to dive into super deeply because the Once and Always special is something we could sit here for an hour about just discussing the ins and outs and breaking it down. But the cast is so good as well. Walter Jones, David Yost, Catherine Sutherland, Rocky's actor. I am so sorry, I cannot remember his name off the top of my head. Normally I do. It's going to hit me once I'm done recording as well, and I'm just going to slap myself in the head. But all these actors and actresses coming back, picking up their roles, they all just bounce off each other so well, and especially Charlie, Min's actor here. She's just such a good fit. I love seeing Walter, Zach's character interact, have that father figure with her, and then David being kind of like an uncle mentor type role to Min. You know, it's just super good. Like I said, the relationship with Zach and Bailey specifically is just so good to watch. For an hour or so special, I thought they did a really, really good job with the storytelling and the growth between these characters. It's just really well done in the short time that we had for it. Min's character growth herself throughout the special was just something special. As soon as she took her mom's morpher, and her arrogance just absolutely killed me the first time I watched this. I mean, it still does every time I see it, but she rolls up on the putties and is just like, "Oh yeah, it's morphin' time," and she does the thing. She starts beating the fuck out of the morpher. It's like, little girl, it's not just a catchphrase. Sit your ass down and let the big boys play. Like, I don't know. It was just funny. I love it so much. Again, her arrogance of just, yeah, I'm a Power Ranger. Okay. Anyway, yeah, she was us on the playground. You know what I'm saying? So once Min gets past her asshole stage and she starts helping people, you know, becoming worthy and whatnot, when she touches the morpher again, in the scene of Min just seeing her mom's memories, seeing Trini interact with the Mighty Morphin cast, and oh my gosh, dude, it chokes me up every time. Even just talking about it, my stomach just starts getting tight because it's just such a well done scene, man. I love it so much. It's one of those scenes that I think in so many years we're just going to be coming back to, and we're going to be talking about it as a fandom because it's such one of those important scenes, I think. Um, and then of course you get Min leading the morph call. Hype, dude. I absolutely loved it. I'm literally getting chills right now. Actually, the Yellow Mighty Morphin Power Ranger, I will say, not my favorite in the team. Um, Never really has been. But god damn, dude, like Min in front here in this picture I put on the slide, dude, it's so clean. They got the little shine on the helmet to help her stand out. Excuse me. Um, it's just so good. I love it so much. I'm really, really glad with what they did here. Like, look at that shot, dude. It's just that's an iconic picture right there. It's just so good. So yeah, I just want to talk about Min a little bit today. I thought she kind of deserved just some respect, I guess, if you will. I thought she deserved to be put in the slide. I'm really glad that the fandom and just everybody has really op- welcomed her with open arms. Everyone's been praising her about her job. The job she did in this special. I hope we get more from this team, this cast in the future. I hope they don't wait another 20 to 30 years before they do another special, because man, time is so short. Like, take advantage of it while you have all these actors and actresses here. That's all I have to say. We've obviously lost some good ones over the years, so would hate for that to happen and us just being like, oh, I wonder what it would have been like if blank. It just sucks. So I hope they continue to do stuff with this cast and crew. So yeah, that's kind of it. Again, I apologize so much for all the Disney stuff today. I really didn't intend for that to happen, actually. So obviously, I work a job. This is just something I'm doing for a creative outlet. So when I have like free time and stuff, I'm trying to put this together, and it kind of comes day by day. You know what I mean? So as I'm filling out like the script and what I want to talk about, it's just I didn't really realize I was sticking with Disney era. It was kind of just what was coming off the top of the dome. So I apologize for that, but I hope you enjoyed it nonetheless. And obviously, I have to address there are some legends we didn't talk about today. Like I said at the top, this was supposed to be about Rangers we just idolized growing up. Obviously, we idolize people like Jason, Tommy, Andros, etc. You get it. Didn't feel like they really needed to be in this necessarily, because what hasn't been said that's already been said about those guys? They're legends. They deserve their own episodes, if I'm being honest. And don't worry, we'll get to them in due time. They all deserve the credit and the glory for the work and efforts they put in to this franchise as well. So don't worry, we'll get there in the future. I thought this would just be a fun one to talk about some of my personal um, favorite ones. Again, not a list or anything, just some of my favorite throughout the series. So I hope you all enjoyed this as much as I did. I hope it gave you a taste of what the channel could potentially feel like in the future as well. Just going through these slides, talking, yapping. That's all it is, man. I just love yapping Power Rangers. I'm glad I have somewhere I can come on and just kind of vent and talk about it. My friends nor my lady really care to hear about it, so it's kind of why I made this channel. So I think I'm going to do a special upload kind of discussing the new Power Ranger Prime Green Ranger that got revealed recently. I thought that would be really fun to just talk about and give my thoughts on that. But also, I'm thinking the next episode, again, this could change. Maybe let me know if you want to hear anything specific, but I think the next episode would be kind of fun if we talked about the Mighty Morphin movie. This last week it had its 30-year anniversary. Hasbro ain't talking shit about it, so like, why not some random guy who you don't know come on and talk about it? You know what I mean? Now, I just thought it would be fun. I think it would be a fun topic. Dive into that movie, what it meant to us growing up, and kind of just give it a breakdown. Maybe talk about like the goods, the bads, and the frogs, if you know what I'm saying. Yeah, it should be fun. So come back. But thanks for hanging out with me today. I absolutely appreciate it. It took about 37, 40 minutes of your time. Thanks for being here, man. If you made it this far, I cannot thank you enough. Maybe leave a like, maybe leave a sub. If not, that's totally cool by me. I just appreciate you guys coming to check it out. So, and again, let me know what were some of your favorite Rangers growing up. Maybe what are some of your favorite Rangers now? What did you appreciate when you got into the franchise or came back to the franchise? Let me know. Curious to read your thoughts. So, yeah, that being said, may the power protect you all. Peace.